So we have 5 pillars. Every child knows 5 pillars of deen. Practically, there are 4 acts. One of them is a declaration, but the other are 4 acts, right? So there's prayer, there's zakat, there's hajj, there's fasting. Allah didn't just give us these 4 acts and others, but Allah didn't just give us these 4 acts. For each of them, He told us there's a purpose. There's a purpose. I'm giving you a car, it can go on the road, but the purpose is you better get to the office. You better make it to campus. That's the purpose of the car. Are there multiple roads you can take? Yeah. But if you understand the purpose of the why your dad gave you the car, you'll go straight where? To the college. Allah says, I gave you prayer. But He didn't just say, I gave you prayer. He said, prayer has a purpose. What happens with us is, we keep the prayer and we lose the purpose. So, for example, أقم الصلاة لذكري. Establish salah so you can remember me. Not just remember me when you're praying. When you're done praying, you'll remember me. When you're done praying, you'll remember me. He says, for example, about the prayer, He says, تَنْهَا عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنْكَرِ. One of its purposes. Prayer will prevent you from doing shameless things. From all forms of shamelessness. Prayer remains, shamelessness is still there. Lewdness of speech, vile words are still there. Eyes aren't being guarded. تَنْهَا عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنْكَرِ. And all kinds of evil. The guy is running a liquor store, but it's Ramadan, so he says, closed for prayer. And he'll go and pray. كَيْفَ نَهَتْ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. How did it prevent evil? The purpose of prayer is to prevent evil from happening. How is it preventing? The guy beats his wife, curses his children, and then makes tarawih. How is it preventing evil? So what happens is, kitab remains, hikmah is gone. Fasting, Allah says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Purpose of fasting, you become grateful. If you spent the entire month complaining about how hungry you are, how many days left? The fasting is still there. The purpose is gone. The kitab is there, the hikmah is gone. You understand what I'm saying to you? For every one of the rituals Allah taught us, there was a purpose. The purpose is a kind of a sentiment, an attitude, a character change, a point of view change. That actually comes from wisdom. What happened to Banu Israel? They kept the law, they lost the wisdom. They looked like they observed the law on the outside a lot. The halal has to be there. The ingredients have to be there. This is the time of the prayer. This is the adhkar for the prayer. These are the specifics. All the specifics were there, but the reason you do it was gone. This is what Isa alayhi salam came to restore. This was his purpose. وَيُعَلِّمُهُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَالتَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ. By the way, if he only had wisdom, then they'll say he doesn't even know the kitab. He doesn't even understand fiqh and sharia and the rules. He just says, oh, everything is just, so long as you're grateful, you don't have to pray. Because the people become like that, right? When the law is taken advantage of so much, listen, I know I'm taking over my time. Let's take 2-3 minutes to explain this. But it's an important consequence. What happens when people in the Muslim community, and the Jews of the time were the Muslim community, so I'm talking about both right now, okay, at the same time. What happens in a Muslim community when the spirit goes away, the hikmah goes away, and all you have left is the laws? Then the next generation starts seeing, man, these people pray, but they're so messed up. These people have long beards, but they're so messed up. These ladies wear hijab, but they're the most vile women I've ever seen. They see that. And they say, you know what? These people think they're good just because they've memorized the Quran. These people think they're good just because they look religious, they act religious, they say the religious words that we don't know. This is why they're good. You know what? That's not what being good is. Being good means being a nice person. Being good means being kind. Being good means being nice to your neighbor. I'm all of those things already. I don't need religion to be a good person. I don't need to look like them, talk like them, act like them to be a good person. I have the hikmah without the kitab. You understand? So what happens then is, as a reaction, they say the kitab is messed up. Because the people who look like they follow the kitab are messed up, it must mean the kitab and its following messes you up. So don't do that. Just go for the spirit of it. Because fasting makes you grateful. I don't fast, but I'm still pretty grateful. The purpose has been achieved. I mean, I don't remember Allah through prayer, but I thank God all the time in my own way. Purpose has been achieved. لِذِكْرِ. The purpose has been achieved. It was important for Isa alayhi salam to be said about Isa alayhi salam. Allah will teach him Tawrat, which is what? The law, and the hikmah, the Injil. What happened with the Jews? Only kitab. What happened with the Christians? Only hikmah. We don't need the law. What happens within the Muslim community? Forget outside. Inside the Muslim community, there are groups of us, all kitab. As a reaction, there are groups among us, all hikmah. And that is a manifestation of our distance from Quran itself. The further we get from Quran, you become either this way or you become that way. And the only way you can restore that is the word of Allah becoming central again. That's when those two things come together again. It's a profound thing that Allah Azza wa Jal captures in that brief phrase, Al-Kitaba wal-Hikmah. That's Al-Kitab wal-Hikmah.